Well, I've spent about a week watching the reaction to the Sony A7V, and man, are some people angry, like really, really crazily angry. And I have to say, are you guys all right? I mean, seriously. In this rant, I'm going to unpack some of the crazy comments that I've seen about the Sony A7V in forums and on people's YouTube channels, and I'm going to talk about why some reviewers just sound kind of nuts to me right now. But all this hand-wringing and moaning has been mostly about the video features, or what the commenters seem to think they should have been. The argument goes like this. The Sony A7V has all of these great features, but it's limited to 4K. It doesn't have 6K or OpenGate or internal RAW. Sony ruined this camera. I'm really not exaggerating here. Some people have decided that since the A7V doesn't have OpenGate recording, it is already a failure. That's simply not true. I mean, it's not true. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that most people who are dragging Sony because there's no OpenGate recording or higher video features don't even shoot in OpenGate or those higher features. So many of the people freaking out about this are YouTubers. And look, I do this YouTube channel and my own YouTube channel myself, and I shoot in 4K 24. That's what you're watching right now. I shoot in 10-bit, but I'm not shooting in log or not shooting in HLG on the channel, although I have in the past. But the people who are freaking out the most, they are recording for YouTube. They don't need 6K, they don't need internal RAW, they don't need OpenGate recording, and all they're really looking for is high bit depth recording so that they can do color editing later in post-production. And if you look at a lot of the channels, color management doesn't even seem to be something that they care about. I've also seen people now on Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts complaining.
I think it is fair to say that the A7V has fallen slightly short of perhaps expectations based on what the competition have been offering.
Now, I can't even think of a shooter that I know that shoots in 6K or OpenGate or with internal RAW that would consider this entry-level camera from Sony or really from any of the camera companies. If you need those features, you need a camera designed with those features. And that's why I think we're seeing more and more cine-style cameras from the company, because the people who want those higher-end features are wanting them to do more cinema-related things. So what's the problem here? Well, it's the lack of context. When you review products, you need to review them for who they are designed for. So for a good example, I love the YouTube creator Terry Warfield. Great guy, and I don't want to pick on him because he's a solid reviewer and an amazingly nice person, but I want to use him to point out where the conversation about this kind of goes south. The overall take in his video is that Sony isn't listening to its customers, but then he starts off by saying this.
Sony knows who their target customer is. We do have to also acknowledge the fact that Sony actually has the data. They have the marketing data. They have the marketing team. They have the analysis. They have the R&D. They have the sales data. They know what they're doing, all right? In a vacuum, the Sony A7V is honestly a bomb camera, especially for people who want to be in the Sony ecosystem.
But then he says this camera doesn't exist in a vacuum. For sure, the camera doesn't exist in a vacuum. You have to compare it to other things, but it exists in a very narrow customer set within the world of camera buyers. I'm not saying we shouldn't compare it to other cameras. We absolutely should. I'm saying that every camera has a specific customer base. So take the Canon R6 III, which I reviewed. You can check out the link here. The main complaint that I heard was that all of the improvements were video-centric. People said that still shooters got almost no new features in the camera, and that's 100% true. It's not because Canon doesn't listen to customers, it's because they do. And the customers that the R6 III was designed for wanted more video features. So with Canon, people were complaining that the R6 update had too much emphasis on video features and not enough on photo. With the A7V, there's too much focus on photo features and not enough on video. Camera companies, you just can't win. There's also the problem that people seem to forget that there will be other cameras from Sony with this new integrated sensor and processor and all of the features that you like for photography in a camera that's more robust for video. The same thing happened when the A7R5 came out with its AI-based subject recognition, which even the A1 did not have. So many people complained that the A7R5 had the state-of-the-art autofocus, but who really needs to shoot 60 megapixel anyhow? Why not put it in a camera with 33 megapixels instead? But that came down to timing. The A7R series really needed a refresh at that point, and they put in the newest technology. That camera was designed for portrait, wedding, and other high-res photography. It wasn't designed to capture 30 frames per second, because that's not what the customer of that camera wanted. So then the A9 III came out and the A1 II came out with the same AI-based subject detection. In other words, if you want a Sony with these new features and video features, you will get it. Just not in this particular camera. Because just like the A7R5 wasn't designed to be a sports camera, the A7V isn't supposed to be a video camera for video creators. It's supposed to be a photo-first camera with enough features that most of the users could use. And I have not seen a comment yet from anyone that was going to buy the A7V until they saw that it doesn't have open gate or internal RAW and then changed their mind. The comments I've seen have all been from people who wanted to weigh in on this camera that they weren't going to buy anyhow. And look, I'm a guy that weighs in on cameras for a living. I am literally paid to find faults in things. This is just needless whining about a product that isn't designed for most of the people whining about it. But prove me wrong. If you were hoping to buy an A7V, but only if it had 6K, open gate, or internal RAW, let me know in the comments below. I would really, really, really love to hear what you're shooting with now, and why you're hoping that the A7V would be the camera with all the features you want. And also, what are you doing now? Are you going to wait till another Sony camera comes out with these features and also the video recording? Let me know that too. On the other hand, if you think that the A7V is a better camera than the commenters are saying, let me know that in the comments too. I'll also have links to Terry Warfield's channel, and he is really, really a great creator, and I'm hoping he doesn't get mad that I quoted him here. My final word on this subject here, if a camera comes out and it doesn't have a feature you don't want, don't buy it. Okay, if you have any other thoughts, let me know in the comments below. For Imaging Resource, I'm editor David Schloss, and until next time, go out there and give it your best shot.